We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.
We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It's time for disclosure and it's time for the truth, because truth brings powerful transformation, and we are the voices of change. We are all about evolution at an expansive level, living life without fear and becoming the bridge between two different realities. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary. I'm a channeler and psychic medium. I'm also a hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers, and I work with MUFON doing regression work. I also work with PTSD experiencers, paranormal experiencers, and victims of crime to assist them in recall. I'm really looking forward to another amazing show with our panel. I just want to say thank you to all of you for the work you're doing. It's impactful. It's life-changing. And I thank you for being here with me. And it means more than you realize, as well as to the listeners. So, allow me to introduce some of my favorite people. First, we have Deb and RJ DeRoos. They're authors, paranormal UFO researchers, and they're experiencers themselves. They're also the founders of the Michigan UFO Contact that happens every year in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the end of September. They're also owners and managers of the Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings podcast, and the YouTube channel, and a Mystical Awakenings metaphysical store in Houghton Lake. Next, we have Deb Cobble. She was the central figure in Bud Hopkins' international bestseller, Intruders, The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods, which was made into a CBS miniseries in 1992. She is co-author of the book Abducted, The Story of Intruders Continues, and author of Extraordinary Contact, Life Beyond Intruders. She's a former Indiana MUFON investigator and co-founder of her own paranormal group, Paranormal Underground, and hosts the Midwest Paratalk podcast with co-founder Greg Cable. And then we have Dana Stricker. She is a born psychic medium, and she has been reading professionally since the age of 15. While she excels in her psychic and mediumship ability, Dana is also known for her exceptional skills in remote readings. She's also known and very well-established medical intuitive. In addition to reading professionally worldwide, Dana has worked nationwide on numerous missing person cases. With the amazing panel that we have tonight, I know that anything is possible, and we're going to get deep down in discovery and answers to what's really going on out there. This show is all about transmutating the light from the dark and to replace fear with knowledge. Through my regression work, I have come across amazing cases with some amazing clients. And it's my passion to work with them and to help them have a better understanding of the contact they've had, whether they were taken, have had contact in the physical realm, or through a dream state. I'm grateful that my clients have agreed to allow me to use the regressions on the Voices of Contact. This is the place to be, because the panel breaks down the experiences, providing powerful feedback. I love it because all of the listeners get to connect and learn, and the person I regressed walks away even more immersed in their experience with a new perspective on their contact. So literally, it's a win-win, right? This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. How are you guys tonight?
Good.
Long time no see.
Doing that.
Jazz hands.
Princess
The new
wave.
alien talk.
Better than the one finger
Yes.
wave.
Right.
I think we were talking last week about that some of the grays have 3 fingers, some of them have 4 fingers. I think I would be a 1-fingered gray.
We're not going to
Will
even ask.
the suction
which
cup on
one.
the end of it?
I didn't say it was nasty. I just said I'd prefer to only have 1 finger per hand, is all. You can say with
That would
finger.
be useless. Be like eating with one chopstick.
And I think I said last week, Mary, where did you find this panel?
I don't know.
We're particularly wound up.
Right?
Well,
Because we've been off for a little bit.
yeah.
That's what happens when you give us a little sugar and a little free time. Woo!
And peanut butter.
Woo! Yeah.
So
All right.
we're gonna continue celebrating 2025 and talk about the previous episodes that we've done. So this next one is about a woman who regresses to when she's a young girl and she runs out of her house and all of a sudden there's a white light, and after that all she remembers is waking up at her aunt's house. And so we backtracked just a little bit to when she saw the white light.
Very cool.
Where's the light coming from?
Up above. I can see the corn lit up in the light.
And so what happens next?
Oh no. Next thing I remember is sleeping on the floor in my aunt's house down the road. I don't know how I got from the light to there. I remember going in the house. I just don't remember getting to the house. I laid down on the floor in front of the space heater and went to sleep.
Okay. So we're going to move back. We are going to move back and we're going to tap into that white light and we're going to find out what happened. Are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're moving back, and on the count of 3, you're going to be able to see that white light clearly and easily move to what happens to you next.
They cut me. I feel a cut right here.
Who cut you?
I don't know, but
Where are you?
someplace kind of dull and gray. Not very bright. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like that thing I was in when I was little. There's a metal table and I can't really see what's going on around me. But there was I never seen one of those before.
What is it?
One of those things that looks like a praying mantis. And it cut me.
Is he the only one in there?
The girl.
She? Is she the only one in there?
No.
What else do you notice?
I can feel more of them over here. Of something littler. Seems like something littler is over here.
Okay, and you're going to be able to focus in and see them clearly.
They're little grays.
Little grays. So there's both grays and mantis there. Ask them why you're there.
They just want me to be quiet.
How rude.
Maybe that's why they have the grays there to do all the handling work. Is he has to do the handling. It cuts it.
Number one, we are never using that graphic again because the head of that thing. Go back and revisit that.
I know that was what you have, right?
Just saying.
Yeah.
That's your buddy.
And
Not my buddy.
So it's a mantis. What are they doing cutting some little kid?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm thinking that, because it's got all those things on it that are sharp.
And
That
I thought,
maybe it accidentally. That's why the gray should do the handling and not the mantis.
oh, Dana ain't going to like this.
You're absolutely correct, but I was laughing at the skull shape. So for those of you out there that are watching that didn't quite catch that, rewind at some other time and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Add
So
graphic.
you have to make sure that that's there.
You should bring that on the show.
I should do what with who?
Bring that thing on the
Bring
show and show everybody.
your buddy.
Oh yeah, next time.
Okay.
It'll have
What
a
did you
place
name
of
him?
honor. Richard Cranium.
Oh my God.
We're psychic, Dana.
Yes.
We're psychic.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. So
Sorry.
I want to say this is not the first time that we have had people that have the mantis beings and the grays there together.
Does it
Yeah,
feel like
so
the
not only
Greys are
that-
subservient to these mantis beings?
That's what
like
I'm
they're
saying.
their worker bees, like the an anthill.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
that's
certain
what I was
ants that
thinking.
like come out of the ground also, by the way.
Yeah.
Come out of the ground, which is why they might have the weird eyes. Because
Wood ants, they eat your house.
Well, the Hopi said the ant people came and rescued him during the flood. So
What?
Okay.
when they had the great flood here, the Hopi legend is that the ant people came up and took him down.
Oh, I didn't hear the Hopi
Water be
part.
disgusting.
Yeah, and took him
Okay.
down and saved him, took him in the ground. So
Now I gotcha. There's
Yeah.
been my cat is now turning into a horror flick here. Okay. But see, that's not the first, everybody keeps talking about, oh, the mantis are friendly and they calm you down and they're out there cutting kids. I think not. He agrees with me.
We don't know the details. And it could be that's why they use the grays.
We have a
because
gray
they
right
aren't-
now coming in to comment.
Aw, hi baby. So cute.
He's a different kind of gray. Well, that's
But-
interesting.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I think they probably do have the grays. They have different roles too. And for me, my experience with mantis beings, they never get close. So maybe that's why it's not real safe for them to, because they have all those.
and there's been documentation on TV also, people telling about grays and mantises too. It's well known that they work together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm not going to talk about them anymore because I don't need a visit from them.
Well, soon we will work on a regression that Mary does on you so we can find out why in the hell are you so on the mantis? There's a reason.
Like
for
angry.
this.
Look at how dark it gets when my cat stands up. They anger me. It's not a fear. It's
Mhm.
anger. It's irritation. Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean, in like they say, we're all races of whatever. There's good and bad. So
Even the cat says so.
confirmation.
Mhm. Yeah. But that was a really good regression, and it was
Mhm.
interesting that her only memory was, being here, seeing what she saw, and then at her aunt's, and then there's
Yep.
all this stuff that happened in between.
Yeah.
She really kind of needed to know.
Hmm.
That's
I
how
think that's
we,
a good thing about regression is you get to, once you see, you release some of that,
Mhm.
that frustration, the fear, the unknown.
And her aunt lived about a quarter mile away or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Not very far away.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was a good regression. I remember that one.
I like that
Okay.
one.
I can hear her now when they left. You, the wrong house.
Come back
My
later.
parents. Somebody I go on to tell my parents.
Return to sender.
First, let us cut you. There you go,
Yeah.
kid.
Right.
Go find your aunt. Go
Just
pass
move
up.
her over here. Oops, I shouldn't have done that.
I've heard of people that have been abducted, and when they were brought back, they had somebody else's underwear or pajamas on. That they
Really?
didn't
That's
need.
more horrifying
That
than the
they-
abduction.
I know, right? Especially drawers. Oh,
Wow.
yeah, I've heard it many times. Well, they either their clothes were inside out and backwards, or they were
Right.
somebody else's entirely that they don't even know.
Well, that
How
tells you they're
about
not
that?
into fashion, that's for sure.
They're not into
Oh,
clothes.
one, you've seen them all.
What do you mean you don't wear every?
Can somebody put the skin back on that one over there? They
Why
don't
am I
know
wearing a G-string?
it.
I'm a grandmother.
Why do I have a bra?
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mary.
You're all right. So this next one is a different regression. It's still a woman who regresses to a young girl, and you guys will remember this one because this one's a little bothersome with how she reacts to being taken upon the craft.
Hurts. And I just want you to know you're not going to feel it. The pain is instantly going away. It's gone. You can ask him what he's doing if you'd like and get your answers. Okay. What is he doing? He's putting the implant in. He's putting the implant in. Ask him why he's putting an implant in. We have to locate you. Why do they have to locate you? Hurting me. We're going to tell him he's not allowed to hurt you anymore, and he's going to stop. Well, why do they need to be able to find you? To take me back again. To take you again? Yeah. Why do they want to take you? Because they want to study me. They want to what? Study me. Why do they want to study you? What's the purpose of them studying you? I want to be turned over again. I want to be turned back over.
Is it just me, or was I hearing other voice with her when she talked?
I've heard that a couple times tonight.
I heard another voice while she was talking, a woman's voice, softer.
Couldn't make anything off, or couldn't make anything out.
I couldn't understand what it was saying, but I was talking when she talked. It was like two different voices coming out of her.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird, and I just wondered if it was just me.
I heard something as well, but I couldn't understand what it was saying.
Yeah, me either.
But there's a point in case thing why it ticks me off. Don't mess with my kid. All of us are parents here. How would you feel if that was your kid?
Oh, been there, done that. Yeah.
I don't know if I've done it or not, but man, if I find out, there's no statute of limitations on my rage when it comes to my son. Don't mess with my kid.
Didn't you figure out this was like during the late 60s, early 70s, maybe, for her age? We talked about that.
Yeah, I believe it was. Because
Wasn't there supposedly some agreement that came about in the 80s with these guys saying you stop roughing us up? Or
Yeah,
wasn't
it did
there something
change.
that happened?
It did change. Yeah, something happened. It did change, and
Leave the
I don't know.
kids
I don't know the
alone.
exact dates, but yeah, there was the time when it first started out, like in the 50s, when they made an aggressive uh, pact about making hybrids, and they said, well, we'll have one of your medical doctors on board with us, and it got way out of hand. And supposedly Eisenhower said, no, we're not going to do that. And he's one of his superiors said, look, there's nothing you can do about it. They're going to do it anyway. So, and we got technology out of that. So, yeah, that's the story goes. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying that was the
No,
big
I know.
story.
But I had
That was
read
the big story
something
that was, it said on TV and said by a bunch of people, the well-known people, and even his granddaughter, Eisenhower's granddaughter.
Well, we certainly hear in our regressions people who were regressed, like this woman. This one really gets me, as you know, it did the first time. Back then, it was totally different than some of the newer regressions from newer times.
they were horrifying. The
Yeah.
old ones.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I think, they're working more with us now. But,
That's when they tell us to be calm, and then they
mhm.
do other things because it's a little
Mhm.
mind control.
Yeah.
I'm a conspiracy theorist.
That reminds me when I told you about that guy getting taken right out of that bunker.
Yeah.
In 70, he did say that they were doing all kinds of experiments on him in his eye and up his nose, but he said he couldn't feel anything.
Good.
Good. Yeah, I mean, that was good. So I thought, wow, because you hear horror stories. Like,
well, I was wondering with her going back in this regression, is she feeling what she didn't feel then? Or did she feel it then and she's
I think
carried
she
this
felt it.
buried all these years?
Yeah,
you
I
don't
feel
know.
like she felt it until Mary said, "You're not feeling this."
But I mean, at the time that it happened.
Well, when you take like a 3-4-year-old into emergency, they have to get a shot or they hurt themselves. They're terrified.
Mm-hmm.
They're terrified. So
I think this would be a different level of that.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Or a 73-year-old man.
Yeah. So maybe it was,
terrified
more
for shots.
terrifying in the mind than it was actually physically. I'm not saying it wasn't, it wasn't physically hurting too, but you know how a kid sees a needle and they scream and they go crazy. So
I'm not as nice about it. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that it's it sounds
I
like she was a
understand what
little
you're
kid.
saying.
Yeah,
and it could be that the kid is reacting. That was the perception of the child, and it really wasn't that dramatic. But unfortunately, that's what that kid, now an adult, has suppressed for how many years.
Right.
And she was returned with something other than what she left. Not just the implant, but a cut.
Right.
I have problems with that, as you can tell.
Yeah, well, I do too. Yeah, it's. I mean, any of it. It's if it's not a free will thing. It's bad. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's all bad. I just think there's something I'm missing, and I can't quite get it yet. But hopefully they'll come and let me know what that is.
We got into that, dissecting frogs and pigs thing. That we don't.
I didn't. I refused to do it.
I did too.
In my class.
But we didn't think about it. People didn't think about it. I think it's gross, man.
I got it walked out.
But
I made my best friend do it.
Do it without any thought or emotion about that being.
Yeah.
Many do.
We'll go out and catch a butterfly.
Most of us can't. Is there a reason for that?
We're more aware, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'll appreciate life more, hopefully.
But there are many people that think, no, that's okay. Mm-hmm. It's a frog.
Yeah, we quit thinking that we're higher than others.
We're not. Yeah, I'm not like that at all.
No.
Right.
I don't like mantis. I don't like insects.
Okay, so you can dissect an insect, huh?
No, I wouldn't do that either. But I'm
Well, I
not
told you.
adverse to like having to swat a wasp if it's in my bedroom at night.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had that interview with Linda Moulton Howe. She did tell me that some of the insects are not good people. So that was her, letting me know. So.
Well, I feel bad for the little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one rips at my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Then and still now.
All right, so for this next one, this one is a gentleman who finds himself on a craft, and he's progressed so far with his work, with extraterrestrial work, that he's allowed to get missing pieces of things that had happened to him. So he's given the missing pieces of the puzzle.
Gotcha.
In the bag that you didn't order?
Yeah, whatever that means. At best, it could be taken as a sign that things happen that don't make any sense on our level, that could have only come from invisible source. Like that thing, see the invisible, believe the incredible, and receive the impossible. That thing.
They kind of have faith that everything and anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do next while you're still on board?
We're there for about an hour or so, and they're filling in gaps of encounters that I've had that were either blocked or by me or withheld from me, showing me lots of things that I've done on board.
So it was sort of like you were able to get more answers since you were ready?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Now, do they do the same thing with the friend that you're with?
She's told them that she doesn't want to remember.
Why doesn't she want to remember?
It's stressful.
That's always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Funny,
And of course,
have
we know
some
who
of the
those people
same.
are.
We have some of the same favorites. All the same favorites. Yeah, that was a very, very interesting regression, because later found out that we do know this person, and there were things that came out
And the person we're talking about.
that the person just doesn't let out, but it came out during the regression.
But
Do
they
I
do
know
now.
this person?
Yeah, and they do now. And yeah, I'll let you know after the show. But give you a little hint, they were speaking at the conference. So.
Well, that cat just got out of the bag, didn't it?
Well, that is. I'm not saying
Figure
any
that out.
names. I'm not going to say any names. So.
Well, it just shows that when you do the work, that there is more of a purpose to it than just being taken. Right? There's more meaning to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you work towards that meeting and finding the answers, once you get to a certain level, you'll get the answers. Sort of like, the spiritual awakening, when you're doing the work and you're growing your gifts and you're expanding things you already kind of knew but didn't have the answer for. When you're ready for the full answer, it comes to you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good case to show how this whole process is a very spiritual process. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more than just humans and other beings taking them. There's a whole spiritual evolution going on, and it's really for the betterment of the whole. So, working with that, in my mind, is so important.
It's all about that evolution. Baby steps, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Baby steps.
Mama didn't raise no fool, girls. RJ. I'm more of a tough sell on that. Not with all of them, just with a couple different things that I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, because it's not all just, like Michael would say, kumbaya. So there's this.
There is not all kumbaya.
Yeah, there's something.
We are not all kumbaya.
Yeah.
Well, you can't be. You have to have the dark to have the light. I mean, there has to be a yin and a yang. That's all there is to it.
But I mean, like, what is the purpose of all this? What is where's it heading? Is it
universal?
Yeah. So
evolution.
But some people don't trust that. Some people just don't, and they shouldn't really, unless they really start knowing the truth. But you can only hope and manifest the best you can. But do we really know? So I get that, and that's why we're doing the show. That's why we're doing. That's why I research every day. That's why I listen to people talk and listen to you people and to everybody else. So just searching for the truth, like everybody else.
Yeah. Go within.
Yep.
All right. So for this next one, this one she wanted to explore a dream that she had where all of a sudden she found herself in a large room, classroom type setting with a bunch of people around her, and there was a military person teaching a class.
And we're going to walk up to the military man, and you're going to ask him, why is this so important?
I'm afraid to go up there.
Well, you're just an observer. You're not going to experience it, and you're completely safe and protected. And it's safe to go up there and talk to him, because he'll answer your question. Go up there and talk to him and ask him why it's so important to know.
You will know when the time is right for you to remember this.
Ask him why you're there.
To learn.
To learn about what?
It's going to sound silly.
It won't sound silly, I promise.
Life.
Not
just on this planet.
Ask him if this kind of math is going to help with other planets.
Yes.
How?
To grow.
Grow what?
In knowing about other planets and other people.
And how will it help us to know about other planets and other people?
To love
and connect.
Exactly.
Love and connect.
Exactly.
Did you see those grays that were that's the ones I've had connection with. The Wang place. That's El Mayuk, some of them are called. Anyway. That's a little scarier looking than that.
That was another really good regression.
That was a good one.
A lot of
she didn't like that guy, did she?
Information came out.
She didn't like that guy, I remember.
No, she was afraid of him.
Yeah.
And and I know she was learning a certain type of math to be able to, I guess maybe we'd call it a little bit of astronomy, where you're studying other planets, for the future use. And I think, and of course you guys wouldn't know this, but this regression was important to me because she'd been an experiencer for so many years, and she had stopped having experiences, and she missed it. She felt lonely. She missed them. And so for her to be able to go back into a regression and see that they're still connected with her, that was very healing for her.
Yeah.
Because she thought she had lost her purpose.
That was the same person who broke down because she felt separated from him. She was left here. some of her family left. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and realizing that oneness, the connection is, a big part of what it's all about,
yeah.
and that's where we're going.
Love above all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's not saying that they're all good, or all humans here are good, or all beings on this planet. We have millions of different beings on this planet.
That's for sure.
Some are good, some are not. But we are all connected. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We're connected with all of it.
Yeah.
The law of one.
Yeah.
So now, since Deb just set that up for me,
Oops.
Are we going to talk about the ugly?
We are going to move into the very last clip, but the most important clip of this episode. So this one, is tapping into the subconscious and speaking about how many of us have been placed here to help history to not repeat itself. In what ways does he want you to help? How are you going to help?
He's saying that in this lifetime, there's a possibility that the world I live on can possibly crumble the way that the others crumbled. They all crumbled in different ways depending on what went wrong. And he thinks that I can help by not allowing the history to repeat itself.
And what steps does he want you to take to do that?
He's showing me that our world has crumbled many times in many different times and versions. But there's many, many other times that the world thrived and succeeded. And he thinks that I would be a good candidate for a key to hold a space with energy that can help the world when it needs it. And he's showing me this stone, and he's putting it in my hand, and he's saying that this crystal will give me the right energy at the right time, and to let it work when it needs to work. The crystal looks almost like a labradorite crystal, but it's very different. It looks almost very multicolored, and the geometric shapes that you see within the color is very different.
And how will you use this crystal?
He said as long as I accept the crystal will be used by itself when it's ready. He said there's nothing that I need to know or to do except for knowing that it will work when it's supposed to.
And do you accept the crystal?
As I said thank you, the crystal started to disappear, and now he's saying that it's inside me. And now he's putting his hand close to my chest without touching, and he's making his hand glow, and he's asking if I would be willing to help. And I said I'd love to help if I can.
Where is the crystal at inside of you?
It looks like it's coming from where my heart is. It's coming.
Wow, so powerful. I love it. So does everybody wonder if they have one of these crystals in them?
I was just thinking that.
Tests that I've had done, I'm sure they would have seen something in there that was there.
I know, right? Same here.
Maybe your pineal gland is a crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's could be.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
there is crystals in there. It stores information.
well, in most humans, the pineal gland, because of everything on this planet that they give us, it's so calcified. How would you know if there's a crystal?
Mine is fresh as a baby's bottom. I don't know what you're talking about. No calcifications here.
Yeah, I mean that's hopefully that's the truth, but for all of us. But anyway, when he was talking about there's been many civilizations here that have come and gone. I mean, our history goes back, in my opinion, millions of years. Not just
They keep finding older and older things. I do a lot of archaeology magazine reading and things like that.
I do. Yeah, I believe we've done this before.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Probably so many times.
Can
But
we get it right?
maybe they're getting
time?
sick and tired of us building it up and then destroying ourselves. They're just finally like, you know what, you guys suck. We're going to abduct your children, leave marks, and then stick a crystal in your heart chakra area.
This thing, Kopeki Tepe, they're just starting to figure out, in Turkey there, it's, they've only got like a little bit of it uncovered. It goes under the ground, and that's going to be proven a lot that how old some civilizations were. But I mean, way back when the planet didn't have all this water, the mountain range that goes to the Atlantic Ocean, they know that there's beaches at the bottom. They put those beaches down there. So
didn't they just find like a really old stone carving underneath? I want to say it was Lake Michigan of a mastodon.
Yeah, he had a mastodon. Yep.
Did they just find that?
Well, it was actually about 2 or 3, 4 years ago.
I'm up to date.
Well, no, it was on the ancient Indians. They went looked at it too. But
but no one was really aware that would. I mean,
no.
They'd never found anything indicating that we walked there at one point. Is that correct?
Well, it's definitely there before the Great Lakes, when the glacier came down,
which is a long freaking time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So okay.
I mean, they found that one hammer that was embedded in a rock that was, God, my God, I don't know.
They just found a canoe
30,000 years old.
Wisconsin, that's 10,000 years old.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're finding all kinds of stuff, man.
Our history is really messed up.
Right.
There's big chunks missing for sure.
If you control history, you control people's thoughts and how they think about the planet, and that's what's going on. So they want you to think, it's funny because I was born in the 50s. They had all these cowboy shows that took place back after the Civil War. They always had us 100 years back instead of what was really going on, and we were watching these shows that, oh my God, it was so cool.
Indoctrination.
Yeah.
Then in the 60s, we get the Jetsons and stuff that take us to the future.
Or the Flintstones. The Flintstones. So,
yeah.
But
But part of what I get from what he was saying is, we'll get this information when it's time. We're all here for our own purpose, or not our own purpose, but our own purpose. And we get the information when it's time. To me, that's saying have faith. Now, how many humans do we know? And you can cut this out if you need to, Mary, that read the Bible and take it for gospel. Well, it's called
Many.
every single word. It's faith. They believe that everything that is written is the gospel truth. So why
Jesus
is it so
was white, for instance?
Exactly. Why is it so hard to have faith in something else in the whole when humans can have faith in this book? And I'm not knocking it really. I'm just saying we easily have faith in what other humans tell us.
Let's say you go to the emergency room and you tell the doctors there you're talking to God, that you're Jesus, you hear Jesus talking to you, right? And stuff. They're going to lock you up and give you medication to make that stop. You know what I mean?
Same if you said you're talking to aliens.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yet whole religions are millions upon millions of people believe that happens, that you talk to God, you know what I mean? And they're not getting locked up and given medication,
Right.
But I'm just saying, but yet, why? And I'm like you, Deb, why is it so far-fetched and hard for people to believe that other people have had contact with non-human intelligent life when they believe that in a God that you're not supposed to see or talk to, or you get a pill, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
People don't make sense to me. They really don't.
Yeah.
Well, the human being is arrogant to believe they're the only living anything in the universe, which is infinite. You don't, how could that even be?
You look at all the sky. How could you think that?
Yeah.
Every star is a sun. You know what I mean?
There are literally bajillions of planets out there, and even more. I mean,
yes.
As far as we're concerned, an infinite amount.
Bajillion galaxies.
Potential
Bajillion planets.
So why on earth would anyone think this is it? This is the best that life can do?
I say you're limiting God's power, when you say that we're the only ones. I mean, well, whoever the creator is, what it is, it's created everywhere. It's life that's created everywhere.
That's what I always say. People used to ask me when I would speak at conferences about my experiences. Well, you can't believe in God if you believe in this. I'm like, well, excuse me. I don't think these two have anything to do with each other, other than the fact that somebody had to make them just like they made me. I mean, whatever fabric I'm cut from, they're probably cut from the same cloth.
Same thing. That's what I'm saying. We're all from the same source. Yeah, there's no doubt. Everything is.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh
my!
Yeah, we're all
lions, tigers, and Vikings.
All created from something.
So we just have to follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah. So this is super, super awesome messages in that regression.
Yeah, it was a good year. It was definitely a good year.
It was.
Looking forward to some more stuff coming out.
And,
who knows what lies down the road, right?
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
Right.
2025.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Rip
very
off
cool
the
that
2025, it ain't no jive, man. Let's go.
But we did do some great stuff. Mary did some fantastic regressions in 24, and I'm so glad that you did this recap of 24 with some of these.
This is not possible without that lady right there. So,
yep.
Well,
good job, Mary.
Because you guys do it with me, so.
You too, Mary.
Sometimes we act a fool, and you have to kind of, at least I know I do.
I know. Sometimes I think, poor Mary.
I would
deal with all of us.
Deb wait next to me down here, I'd be so well behaved, but it's her fault.
Yeah,
I know. Put you two together, it spells trouble.
Next time you get to put her up here.
Mary and I together on panels doesn't always work out well either.
No. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine me between the two of them.
So we know what not to do on the next.
Oh, come on. I'll just get up and move, or Deb will, because that's, what is your, you don't follow, what's the thing you said? you don't follow
Mm,
the shirt you were talking about. Your kids call
Feral?
you something.
Oh,
I have violated terms of service.
There you go.
I'm a TOS violator.
All right. Well, on that note, you guys all have a fabulous night. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
we'll see you Friday.
thank you. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. My little.
We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.